All right, everybody. It is episode number 43 of the Traders Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Ritz, and I'm very excited today because we are welcoming Justin Maxwell to the show of Good Kids Trading. Can't wait to talk to him, hear his story, which is pretty incredible. And Justin, welcome to the show, man. So grateful that you're joining us here today.
Man, thanks, Jeremy. I am so glad to be here. I'm grateful for the chance just to share my story because I really know I can help other people with my story. Like I see it on a daily basis, and I'm gonna go way back with you, and it's gonna be brief, but we're gonna go way back because I'm a little different, and the things that Jeremy talks about with you guys is gonna be a little bit different. And he's not wrong, I'm not right. I'm not saying that, but like I've been fascinated with money since I was a little kid. Okay. I would look at my parents, the successful ones, and I would think, I noticed two things about them. They talked about stocks and they talked about real estate. And I thought to myself, while other kids were out there, they were dreaming about the latest toys. They were thinking about those video games. I was thinking, how do I become a millionaire? Like, I know it sounds weird. That's just what I was. And so it's not because I didn't want stuff. It's not because I wanted stuff. I just saw money as a way of freedom. Like I saw the kind of life that those people had. And I was like, I want that. So I was all, there's savers, there's spenders. I've always been a saver. I was just born that way, I guess. But even before I had a job, I was saving gifts, saving. And I actually opened my first brokerage account in my teens, and my mom had to co-sign with me because, I couldn't have my own account. It was, you have to be like 19. I live in Alabama. You had to be 19. And I thought, okay, this is what I'll do. I'll open a brokerage account. I want to be a millionaire. This is how it's going to go. So I went to the local bank where I have my savings and my checking account, and I went to an investment banker, right? Jeremy, that's got to be right. You go to the investment banker. He knows better than anybody else. Okay, I gave him my savings. He was a good guy. Like, don't get me wrong. He's a good guy. The market had a correction within the first year of me putting my hard-earned savings in there. And it pulled back, and my account, I'm laughing with you now. I was not laughing when in my teens. My account was down 30%. And he's like, Justin, this is normal. This is a drawdown. Drawdowns are happening. He was right. But it gave me a little insight into, okay, it's not straight up. It doesn't always go the way you want. But Jeremy, I thought, man, I can do better. Like you know how it is. I can do better than this guy. I can do this. Yeah. So I opened an E-Trade account, and I didn't tell him. I didn't tell anyone. I was like, I am going to be a day trader. Day trading's the way to go. I can't make this story up. I really can't make this story. I opened my first E-Trade account. I started putting all my extra cash there. Instead of giving it to John, the investment banker, I started putting it in my own account because I knew it. It just so happened that I was day trading in the middle of what we'd later figure out was the dot-com bubble. Okay. So I put my money in there and I invested in these tech stocks and I tripled my money. I was great, man. I am unstoppable. I still remember to this day, JDS Uniphase was JDSU. Just don't sell us was the acronym that we made up. Hindsight, that would have been the perfect time to sell that stock. Yeah. So bubbles break really fast. And those thousands of dollars that I was the hero for making turned into hundreds. Because, when you hear companies go to zero, they usually don't really go to zero. So JDSU went from hundreds of dollars to like 50 cents a share. So I had a couple $100. And the thing I've learned about trading, and I hope that this resonates with a lot of you guys, is you think it's a loss, but it's not really a loss if you learn from it, right? So I learned from John, the investment banker, what a drawdown is. I learned from the dot-com bubble, hey, figure out what a price to earnings multiple is, kind of know what that is, and know is it reasonable or not, and understand when you start thinking you're Superman, you might not be Superman, right? So fast forward to 2020, COVID came, okay? And I'd learned a lot through the years. Like 2008 taught me what a subprime mortgage, never knew what a subprime mortgage was, but I saw what happened to my accounts because I just kept continuously adding to that E-Trade account. I kept the account with John. I kept the account with John, the banker. I kept the account at E-Trade, and I just kept growing it. I kept really adding to it, learning from each one. So by the time 2020 came, COVID hit, I kind of felt like I'd seen this movie before. I felt like I knew what was going on. Now, I didn't imagine ever washing my vegetables and my groceries with Clorox wipes. Like, that wasn't part of the story. But everyone was panicking, man. And I saw, I was watching CNBC, and I don't feel like I can make these stories up. The guy on there was like a professional talking head, and he started talking about zombie apocalypses happening. And I don't know if there was sarcasm, maybe I don't know. But I said, hey, Justin, this is the time. Take your savings that you have like in cash and stick it in SPY. And if you don't know what SPY is, I'm sure you do, but SPY is the top 500 companies of the United States. And this was my thought process. I was like, okay, if I put everything I have liquid in SPY, if the 500 top companies in America go to zero, if they all go, if it's a JDSU and we're going to zero, I will be all right, because money's not going to be my biggest issue. Like if the whole US economy crashes, money's not going to matter. So I'm starting to get that mindset. Like, I thought I wanted to be a millionaire. Money's just not really your goal. We'll get to that in a second. But what happened was, I never catch the top. Maybe you catch the top and bottom, Jeremy. I don't catch the tops and bottom. So I put all my money in SPY. The next couple of weeks, the market keeps going down. I'm like, is this another one of those life lessons? Like, am I about to have another life lesson loss?
Yeah.
And what happened was, the market came back, and there was a V bottom. Not only did the market come back, there was a V bottom recovery. So as the market was coming back, those same talking heads that I don't want to listen to, those professionals, they were like, this is a dead cap bounce, number one, or we've never had a V bottom recovery. I stuck to my plan. Long story short, I stuck to my plan. I left that money in SPY, and in 9 months, Jeremy, I had made double my salary at corporate America as an IT manager, 20 years experience. I made double from that one trade. And I thought to myself, you've made it, Justin. You got it, bro. This is it. It's time, because I didn't like my job. I know as a teacher, you talked about how you had a really great relationship with culture was not the same in my corporate job as it was at your teaching job. I didn't like it. I hated it. It was miserable. So I did what any smart guy would do. I went to the local financial planner advisor in my local town, fiduciary, did all the right things. And I was like, they're going to tell me I can leave my job. I just know it, because like, I was a big FIRE guy, the financial independence, retire early. So I had my number. I met my number. I did it. I was there. And I just needed somebody to say, go ahead. Good job, Justin. Go ahead. Retire. So I gave them all my financial information. Man, I might as well have gone in that office without clothes on, because I felt so vulnerable. They knew everything they knew all my numbers, man. They knew it all. I go in there, I walk in there, and things are going great. And they're going, oh man, Justin, you're ahead of all these financial metrics by almost double what you should be for your age. I'm like, I know. Yes. You're going to tell me right now that I get to retire. I could just feel it.
Yeah.
And they said, I need you to stay at that job another 5 years. Just like dagger to the heart. And but here's the kicker, Jeremy. You'll love this. They said, but while you're working at that job, go ahead and let us have your investments, and let us manage your retirement, and we'll just charge you 1.5%, 2%.
Of course.
And I was going, okay. I kind of okay. So what are you going to do with my money? And I don't know if they realized what they were doing, but they showed me how the sausage was being made. And maybe some people don't capture what they were showing, but they put up this huge slide presentation, and they started showing me all of these stocks, all of these strategies that I was already familiar with, like dividend aristocrats. I love dividend stocks. They pay really passive. So they were showing me all these strategies, and I know 85% of what you're showing me. I know that. So
Right.
I started writing down, I was taking notes, and they're probably thinking, oh, this he's about to give us all his money. Yes, yes. And I'm like, I'm going to study all of these things that I don't know, and I'm going to use them to get that life of freedom that I wanted so freaking badly.
Yeah.
So thanked them for their time. A couple months after that meeting, I turned in my 2 weeks resignation. I just left behind. I left the corporate
Nice.
grind behind. I broke those handcuffs free. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's been quite a journey over the last 4 to 5 years. I feel like I've been through it all. I feel like I've tried so many of the the shiny object syndrome. Like,
Mhm.
I've tried those shiny objects. I've tried those hot strategies. And I'm not saying none of these work. They just didn't work for me.
Mhm.
I've tried complex option strategies that promise these huge returns. I tried to heavy margin. Let's go really big. Let's trade really big. Let's make a lot of money. I've tried the robots. I've tried, if you can name the magic solution, if you can name the strategy, I've probably tried it. I have spent, I don't even want to admit how much money I've spent on education, coaching, mentors, communities. And don't get me wrong, I don't regret a single dollar I spent,
Mhm.
but I never really felt like this is for me. I never had that feeling. And another thing that I really learned, because like when I was when I had a W-2 job, I can say this now because they can't fire me. I loved to day trade because I was stuck at my desk. So I could sit there and I could study the market. I could find those great strategies. If I'm trying a trend following strategy, is the market trending? Let me do a trend
Mhm.
following strategy. Can I play some hammers? Can I play
Yeah.
I could do that when I'm sitting at my desk. But the
Right.
thing that I realized, I discovered I didn't want to trade my W-2 job for a trading job.
Mhm.
You know,
Good
I,
point.
I've seen people make great money day trading. Like, but no offense, you're glued to your screen all day. And if the market's not open, you still need to study. You need to stay on top of the market,
Yep.
know where it's heading. And that's just not the life that I wanted. I'm not
Right.
saying it's wrong. I just didn't want to trade a grind for another grind.
Right.
I wanted my money to work a little bit more passively for me. And so Jamie, that's when I put it all together. I've spent 28 years learning all these lessons, making all these mistakes or learning opportunities, figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And then I realized I have a passion for just sharing this knowledge.
Yeah.
I love to teach. I love to just show people freedom. And I don't want you to make some of the mistakes I've made. Like, at least if you decide to do it, let me just tell you my experience with it so you don't fall into that. So, just really quickly to wrap it up, I created Good Kids Trading. It's just a free community. And my vision is really something different. And if you've been a part of communities before, you probably have experienced some of the things that just really drove me crazy about them. We are solely focused on trading and investing.
Mhm.
I hate all the noise. I hate all the distractions of politics, all these other agendas. So, like, Good Kids Trading, it's really just a place where people can learn, they share their ideas, and support each other for trading. And it's all for free. I really want it to be free. I don't want this to be some kind of, there's so many salesmen in our space,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
we have a heart for teaching. Like, I'm not saying don't make money for teaching. I'm just saying don't sell me something that you're not doing. If you're going to say you're a trader, be a trader. If you
Right.
want to, there's so many who aren't. So, like, Good Kids Trading, I'm sharing 95% of the trades that I take in our Discord for free, real time. And it's not so you can follow me. I don't want people to follow me. I want people to learn what I'm doing. Say, gosh, if Justin can like trade in 10 minutes every morning and go on with his life and do other things, then I should be able to pick up some of those strategies, kind of understand what's in his mind and get a better idea. Because like a Good Kids Trading, Jeremy, I don't care what your politics are. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what color skin you have. I don't care what your sexual preference. I don't care. Like, I just wanted a supportive place where people can learn to make money in the markets, like to make it a little bit more passive. Because
Yeah.
like what I really realized through life, like I thought I wanted to be a millionaire because I thought I wanted the money. I didn't want the money. I wanted what the money can give me.
Mhm.
I wanted the money is the tool to get us where we want, right? Like
Yeah.
you want the money to spend time with your family, to spend time with your friends, to do things like even work your job. Like you want that extra money to do the things you want. And that I missed that starting out early on. But I learned that the hard way, spending 20 years in corporate America at a job I didn't want. And then that financial advisor was like, no, another 5 years. I'm like, no, man, I can't handle
Yeah.
that. So like that's what Good Kids Trading is all about. And then people started wanting a little bit more from me. Like they wanted a little bit more of my time. They wanted a little bit more of my tailored advice. So like I started Mr. Money Maxwell. It's just a real simple way for people to get a little bit more access to me. Like if you have a little bit bigger account, I have an 8-week coaching program. I just walk people through. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a professional. I just show people what I'm doing with my account. We build them a simple plan, just like this is what didn't work for me. This is what worked for you. How much time do you have? What's your investment horizon? So we just look at that. We build because like I hope all of your audience takes this away. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to. Simple is so beautiful
Simple is
because
profitable. Simple is profitable.
and you don't have to think about it. Like I'm sure you see this all the time, but people think it has to be and they're like, if it was easy, everyone would do it. I'm like, no, there's fear. So that's what
Sure.
Mr. Money Maxwell is. And
Yeah.
if you don't have that big account and if it doesn't make sense for you to pay the money, which I don't charge enough of my time and it's fine. But I have an inner circle member too for the people who just want a little bit more tailored access. So like my inner circle is less than a cup of Starbucks a week. It's like ridiculously cheap, but I just give them a 30-minute video a week. I'm building an 8-week course of just like modules of things that I wish I knew starting out, things that I would love to implement sooner so you can skip those levels,
Yeah.
skip some of the mistakes that I've made, that Jeremy's made, and just kind of get a little head start because you don't have to agree with us. You don't have to agree with me. Like maybe you're a huge day trader. Maybe you love trading robots. I just don't. I love simple plans that work for me. So
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm really happy to be here. I just want to say, like, I think my mission is just to empower people really to take control and to take action because there's so many people who are sitting on the sidelines studying. Analysis paralysis is so
Mhm.
real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, man?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
money's not the goal. I know you think it is, but it's just a tool. It's just a tool to get you where you want to go.
100%. Well, I appreciate you sharing your story. It's fascinating and sharing about Good Kids Trading. And that's the whole point, is to be able to connect with people in the community, the trading community, because like you said, it's kind of it's a sketchy world, especially it's
It
hard to.
can be.
Yeah, it's hard to find the people with the right intentions who, don't have an angle or a side. And, having been in communities before too, the big bear or everything's bearish. They've got the bear glasses on, or the reverse, the
The
bull.
sky's falling.
I know exactly. Instead of just being objective, and the chart is what it is, right? But I appreciate you sharing
Yes.
that. Can you talk a little bit about your emphasis and focus on options? And I know you talk a lot about selling puts, but just kind of give the audience an overview of what your approach is to trading.
Yeah. So I used to love to buy options. I would love it because if you're right, quickly you can make a lot of money. But
Mhm.
what I started realizing is that when I buy the options, I feel like they're really small trades. So okay, the options are cheap. They're usually cheap for a reason, is what I've started figuring out. But I like to sell options
Mhm.
more than I like to buy them because I like to put math and statistics on my side. So there's intrinsic and extrinsic value. We won't get into that here, but that extrinsic value it makes options a little bit overpriced from where if you were just buying shares, it's a little bit cheaper. I know it doesn't seem like it when you're paying like 25 cents to control 100 shares, but I just use this the fact that 87% of options of fear, so the implied volatility, is overstated in the option. So usually the market makers are overpricing fear, and there's usually a chance that the stock is going to stay within an expected range.
Mhm.
And if it doesn't, that's fine. I have ways, like if I sell it, just quickly, just a real
Mhm.
quick example. When I sell a put, let's say I love What stock do we love? I love Robinhood. I love Robinhood
I
for
love
sure.
Hood too.
Okay,
HOOD.
bro. Last in 2024, I traded 26 option trades on Robinhood. I sold puts 26 times over the course of 12 months because I wanted to own shares of the company.
Yeah.
Robinhood just kept going up. So I just keep collecting money trying to buy the stock lower. So I just love I love moving the stock market away from the stock market's gambling, Jeremy, or the stock market is rigged,
Yeah.
Jeremy, or yes, it is. Let's make it where we're the casino, where we're the insurance salesman, and where it's rigged in our favor. So
Yeah.
I just like that's why I love options, selling options so much because it's passive. I know, like worst case scenario, if I sold a $20 put, a 20 strike put, I'm just agreeing to buy 100 shares of Robinhood at 20.
Yeah.
So I'll be paid to wait.
Right.
Where do you get paid to be patient?
Right.
I don't know.
And the beautiful part of that for the people watching here is if you do get put to shares, if you are selling puts, and let's say that, if you got Robinhood at 20 and went up to 25, you can then sell your shares for a $5 per share profit. So not only are you collecting that $500, but you also get to keep what you were paid for selling your puts. So, I mean, yes to everything you're saying. Selling options, it can impact your portfolio significantly.
Yeah. And just to kind of follow up, I said that a lot of my parents' really successful friends, they were talked about real estate a lot. And like I think that shares of stock are a lot like real estate. And a lot of people don't realize this, but I didn't bring it up in my story, but I a lot of people who know me, I bought this little company when I was in college. I don't know if you've heard of them or not, but they were called Google. Have you heard
Yeah,
of Google?
I think I've heard of
Okay.
them.
So I put a little investment into Google. I don't even want to admit how many years ago it's been, but Jeremy, I still own my shares of Google
Good for you.
from back when it IPO'd back in the early 2000s. And I think of those as like a house because I sell premium against those shares. So I sell covered calls against my Google shares, and it's like renting out. I know you've talked about this. It's like
Yes.
renting out your shares. So like Google, Amazon, Nvidia, Costco, Walmart, like all these names that you know of, I have those in my longer term portfolio, and I think of them as my rental homes. Like
Yeah.
stocks are assets, and too many people, they get so hung up on this shorter term and no offense, but they get so hung up on these shorter term trades that they forget that the stock market can be short term and it can be long term too. You can do both. You don't just have to do one or the other. You can
Right.
think of it in multiple ways. So like stocks are assets just like real estate is, except for you don't have all those, you don't have tenants, you don't have landlord disputes. It's so hard for me. Like I'm getting into real estate more, but like if I get a bad stock, it's just as simple as click,
Yeah,
it's
it's
gone.
it's it's
If I get a
liquid.
bad tenant, man, it's like
Yeah.
wow, I'm
Yeah,
just
the
not.
the liquidity of the markets. Yeah, I mean, there's no comparison with real estate. In order to sell it, you have to go through all sorts of hoops where you're absolutely right. You just go into your brokerage, click that button, and you're moving on.
Bye. See you later.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, this is fascinating stuff. So what advice would you give to people who are just beginning and getting into this world based on the lessons that you've learned over the course of your 20 plus years in trading and investing?
Um, a few things. There is no get rich quick strategy plan that works all the time. Everything works, just not all the time.
100%.
So that's number one. Number two is if you really think you want to triple your account overnight, it's possible, but you're adding so much extra pressure and stress to yourself that you remember with JDS Uniphase, I thought I was on fire. I thought I could never lose and I lost. It was really good that I lost so early in my career to see what that feels like. Because if you're going to lose, it's better to lose early when your account's smaller than to grow and grow and grow and then start taking these big bets. Because what I've learned is that making really extremely large bets is the best way to set yourself back by decades. Start small. There is nothing wrong with selling a single put on Robinhood and making $20 per trade. Worst case scenario, you're going to own 100 shares of Robinhood. But
Mhm.
what I have found and what I have experienced myself is that I feel like I need to go too fast. And the
Mhm.
faster I go, the more pressure I put on myself and the more mistakes I make. Start small, realize you're going to lose. Like if someone tells you that there's a strategy that you never lose, run the other way, because
100%.
I lose all the time. Jeremy, do you lose?
Oh, all the time. All the
So,
time.
so if someone tells you I have a strategy, you can't lose doing this, run,
Run
run,
away.
and don't,
Sprint.
don't, you don't have to leverage. Leverage is leverage at the right time. Leverage it took me 20 years to know that I should leverage during COVID. Know when to leverage. Have a really good plan of when to leverage, and know, like, if someone's talking about a zombie apocalypse and they are like 25% serious, maybe that's the time you leverage. But
Yeah.
like right now, the markets are pretty high still. I don't know how you guys feel about the markets, but we have really run really fast the last 2 years. Now's not the time that Justin Good Kids Trading is not leveraging right now.
Yeah.
We're still trading. I'm still trading. I'm still looking for opportunities. I'm using more defined risk trades, and my time horizon is a little bit longer than the next 6 months because we're heading into a new year. Like we have a new president taking over. I don't get into politics, but I traded in the past when Trump was our president, and like this is a great time for traders because there's about to be volatility. Like
Mhm.
we're gonna hear things about tariffs. You're gonna hear about all these things, and it's great. It's a great opportunity because that spikes the fear, that spikes the market. Like even day trade, like you're gonna get way more
Mhm.
opportunities. But don't feel like you have to run. Like so many people feel like I've got to make $5,000 this week or I am a failure. And that's the best way to set yourself up for disappointment, failure, and to blow your account up. I'm sorry,
Yes.
but to blow
Yeah.
your account.
100%. Justin, we speak the same language because a lot of what you're saying, it lines up with what I'm saying. So,
Yeah,
I love that validation here, man. But you kind of hit on, what's currently happening in the markets and how I wanted to spend just the ending part of this interview is
sure.
just talking about that. So, brand new year, we didn't get that Santa Claus rally. The first 5 days, when you're looking at the January barometer, if you do the stock traders almanac and seasonality and all those things, really what we're hinging on now for a good projection of how 2025 is going to turn out is how January finishes. And you're right, we're off the highs by about 4.4% in the SPX. But talk to me what your outlook is on 2025. Do you see correction coming into play? Do you see a bear market in our future? What sectors do you see as picking up steam here soon?
Sure.
And how do you see Trump impacting the market? So I know that's a lot, but I'm very curious to hear your take on 2025.
Yeah, I probably have a little bit different outlook, and I'm not being a smart aleck when I say I have no idea, Jeremy. Like I have no freaking clue where we're heading. I don't know if we're going to be up. I don't know if we're going to be down, and that's just for me. That is just fine. I don't need to know. But here's I am I am a buy low, sell high mentality,
Mhm.
and I love moving averages. I love technical analysis. I love really simple technical analysis. So I don't really jump in too much, which is a little bit different than some math. Like I think you can combine math-based strategies, high statistics with some technical analysis. But like I love moving averages. And like if we look at SPY, like it has not touched the 200-day moving average all of last year. Like we never, no matter how you feel about the market, when you look, we never really pulled back last year.
Mhm.
So I've been riding the wave of worry all the way up, but as we go higher, I have been taking off winners and putting on risk defined trades all the way up. So I'm still making money. I still have positive delta in my account, which means as the market goes up, I still make money. But I'm watching what I'm watching right now is bonds. I'm looking at bonds, I'm looking at yields, and I'm looking at free, safe money. So like all of my cash in my trading account, I leave it in SGov, SGOV. It returns 5% risk free. It's not risk free. If you believe in the United States government and you think we're going to remain solvent, SGov is a great way to get 5% return. So what I'm thinking is going to happen, like bonds are telling us we're going to have a pullback. Okay. It's just plain and simple. Like bonds are saying we are going to pull back. We haven't had a really good pullback in all of 2024 for the most part. We had a couple small ones. I know it felt like a lot. Like I know those couple times where we did have the pullback, there was a little bit of fear, but what I love to do, I love to look at the fear and greed index. I like to see, are we fear or greed? I like to look at where do I feel like the market is from a euphoria standpoint? Are we euphoric? Do we feel like, are we dreadful? Are we hopeful? Or we just think the world's coming to an end? Because like there's this old saying, it's like you buy when there's blood in the streets. So I'm waiting for fear. I'm waiting for that pullback. But from a longer term perspective, I'm still in the market because I want my money to continue to grow. From a trading perspective, I am looking for opportunities. And I have I hope everyone does, but I hope you have like a checklist of what you're looking for. Look for opportunities, have a watch list. In terms of sectors and thought processes, I'm looking for smaller cap company because interest rates have been a little bit high. So I'm looking for stocks that are in the IWM, even trading the IWM, which is the Russell. It's the smaller companies. They should start growing a little bit better now that rates are coming down. Their debt is a little bit less expensive. So I'm looking for some smaller companies. I still like Robinhood. I'll talk about that a lot. Palantir, we traded it last year. I've had some shares since 20. I'm starting to get called away on my shares of Palantir, and I am fine with that. Like I will be sell high, JDS Uniface.
Yes.
But I tell you, Jeremy, when Palantir pulls back, I see that as a buying opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking for opportunities. Like, was it last year or the year before? It was last year. We had the banking crisis. You remember the banking crisis with like FRC?
Yep. Silicon Valley Bank was another one.
Silicon Valley. What I did, and it's in my Discord, so I'm telling you facts. But when we had a banking crisis, I loved it. I piled all my money in JP Morgan, JPM. So as the world's coming to an end for COVID, as I'm looking, I don't mean this the wrong way. I'm not wishing for it, but if we get crises, like if we get a banking crisis, everyone listening, don't be afraid. Look for the best of breed and find the opportunity. Like I put all my money in JP Morgan. I bought it at 140. Bought it. My cost basis was 137. I've been selling some shares at 210. It's at two. Like that's what we want to look for.
Yeah.
That's what we want to look for. So I don't know where the market's heading specifically. Like we could keep grinding higher and I would keep looking for opportunity, just like I'm saying, build a checklist. But I really would, as weird as it sounds, I would really love a pullback. I would love to have that opportunity to get a little bit more fear, to get a little bit more of people going, oh no, the end of the world's coming. And I'm like, that's when we should go. Let's all go buy.
Awesome. That's great stuff. And Justin, the way I want to close out the show, I'm going to give you five concepts, tickers, topics related to the market, and then you just give me a one-word response answer. This is just kind of, what's on the top of your mind. So here we go. I got five. I'm going to give you the first one. Ready? NVIDIA.
Innovative.
How far do we drop on the SPX if we do get a correction?
10%.
All right. Not bad. Next big sector that people were overlooking.
Financials.
All right. You talked about Hood here. And if we look at fintech, the next big fintech company that probably isn't on anybody's radar is
Well, if it's not on our radar, we don't know about it. One word here. Like I really want to say SoFi. I really want to say SoFi.
SoFi. All right, there we go. And then here, the last one.
I know it's on everyone's mind though. Sorry.
Nah, that's all good. All good. The last one. The next bear market occurs when?
I don't know.
I love it.
Is that one word?
It's three words, but it's all good. It's all good. So Justin,
no one knows.
Yeah, nobody knows, and that's definitely you're driving that home here, and it's not our job to know that. Our job is to whatever the market gives us via the charts. That's what we trade. That's what we base our decisions on. And Justin, you've been so valuable in what you shared here today. I'm so excited for the listeners to get this. Where can we check out your stuff? And you have a free boot camp coming up as well too.
I do. I do. And it's going to already be out by the time this releases, but it's fine because you can sign up anytime you want. You're going to get filled right into, I have a mini course on selling puts, totally free, Jeremy, totally free. It's Mr. Money Maxwell /action. But I would love for people to come to goodkidstrading.com, read the blog, come join our Discord. It's a super supportive community. If you want to talk about politics, if you want to talk about other things, don't come. I don't want you. I'm just being honest. But if you want to come and talk about trading, if you love trading and you want to be part of something fun, free, I'm not pushing. I can care less if people pay for Mr. Money Maxwell. If you want to do my coaching, I love watching other people win, but just come join a supportive community. Come have fun. If trading's not fun, what are you doing? We're making money clicking buttons. Doesn't get any better than that.
This is such hard work, man.
Yeah, man. So that's what I would love for people to join the mini course. It's 4 weeks. It'll take the videos are 20 to 30 minutes. It'll take you 1 hour of time to learn one of the strategies that has worked the best for me for 15 years. 15 years of a strategy that works great. And this is not a secret. Multiple people are doing this. I just look at it a little bit different way. I just want to watch people win. So I love it. That's what I'm all about.
Awesome. So I will make sure that is in the show notes for everybody to check that out. Good Kids Trading. And again, give Justin some love. Thank him in the comments for coming on the show and sharing his knowledge, his expertise, and most importantly, your passion, man. If there's one thing that I could say, finally meeting you virtually, we'll have to connect in person sometime. I'll have to come down to Bama, catch it. I don't know if you're a Tide fan. I've never seen a game. No, all right, that's okay.
I was raised a Roll Tide. I'm probably gonna lose viewers. I was raised a Roll Tide fan, and then I realized, hey, they're kind of obnoxious, so I don't want to be obnoxious.
All good. But I appreciate the passion that you brought here today. Again, make sure you check out Justin's work, and hopefully we can get you back on the show here again sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, everybody. It's great being here.
All right, take care. And that's going to do it for episode number 43 of the Traders Podcast. Have a phenomenal day, everyone. Take care.